Hello everyone, this is Greyshot17, bringing you the third place games of the Master League Tournament 2 Commander Terminator Edition, aka they can only use a certain set of commanders that have not been already used. If they do, they are disqualified. So again, no repeats, one or you're done. So what does Helping Hans as the Brits and Asiamint as the OKW brought to the table on the map? Barracks Assault. We got ourselves Scavenge Doctrine, Grand Defensive Doctrine, and Breakthrough Doctrine for Asiamint. Meanwhile, Helping Hans got Royal Engineer Regiment, Lend-Lease Assault Regiment, and also Commando Regiment. Honestly, if I have to pick my current top, I know a lot of people think that I absolutely despise Lend-Lease, and I do in 4v4 matchups, but in a 1v1 setup, the fact Helping Hans does not use that is actually kind of astounding to me, because you would figure that he would use that early on. But no, he has yet to use it, and that could be a very, very good early game, especially with the early mortar. But as well, we got Asiamint, again, or something that he could easily pick to really keep the pressure going would be Grand Defensive, but we'll have to see what each player goes. In the south, we have our first major engagement. We got ourselves Stern Pioneers going after the Brits, unfortunately realizing that he's outgunned 2-1. Stern Pioneers pull back without taking additional casualties with their models. The last thing you want is something where you start losing men and for a fight that you cannot win. Or if you have a reason for it, great, but in that situation you don't. Brits currently putting down some heavy cover because again they can, and it's also good for just keeping the pressure going. Volk Squad's doing the exact same thing up in the north, and slowly but surely Asiamint is going there. He's bringing himself out 3 Volk Squads and a Sturm. Meanwhile, Helping Hans bringing the pressure with 4 infantry section. No universal carriers here, no MGs brought out to bear. Nope, it's all infantry section, frontline forces, baby. And honestly, for capturing and stuff, that seems to be going out or doing pretty well, with units capturing territory very, very close to Asiamint's base. At the very least, putting pressure on more likely his set of munitions that he should be holding on to. But Asiamint is not done yet. Again, we can currently see him gathering forces in the north. He could be trying to do a major engagement against Helping Hans, try to overwhelm his infantry section. Right now, he's trying to figure out which cover he should go to, and he figured go for this one, maybe his other infantry section to get that vehicle, but Volk Squad's pushing on in. He's now moving and putting pressure on this Volk Squad, which is out of cover. But unfortunately for him, we have another Volk Squad in a Sturm coming on in, and all the other infantry section are down in the south, so no support is coming to his immediate aid. Volk Squad rushing in for the cover, and again, trying to get in there to use it. We have additional squads moving on in with the Sturm, and then Volk Squad trying to get close against this infantry. Luckily, MG being developed, but not deployed yet. Helping Hans pulls back, only loses 2 models. This other squad, though, is being lit up by the Sturms, which are very low on health, but succeed in the battle and manage to do a nice decisive win early on, and actually kill 2 models on the retreat right around the base. Unfortunate, but very nice job. Meanwhile, additional infantry section getting behind cover, trying to do what they can to hold out. Oh, hold out against the infantry. They're pushing on them. Luckily, behind cover, they can do some excellent work, but I think there's too much infantry right here for them to effectively counter. Storm Pioneers, though, quickly retreating back to base. Most likely, I'm assuming, heading back to put down some medical. Wait. No, actually, we already have a medical facility at base. Asiamint making sure his troops can be healed. Meanwhile, we have additional infantry just placing either cover or trying to hold the line against the British forces for as long as possible. Helping Hans deploying the platoon command post, maybe for an early tech up for some 5-man infantry section, which could be very, very potent against these Volk squads. But Volk also getting some MG support. Unfortunately, not as potent as a vigorous machine gun, but the MG34 can do exactly what it needs to at keeping the enemy at bay. Interesting enough, Asiamint has stopped that and have gone breakthrough. Now, we could see a Sturm officer maybe to be deployed shortly. Panzerfusiliers are also very good at longer ranges, which can help them go toe-to-toe. So again, all sorts of interesting tactics, but again, we'll have to see what he goes. Luckily, again, medics healing up, again, because of the medical supplies. MG helping guard infantry section, which, again, rapidly deployed to the point they did not actually heal their infantry. Might be a little bit of a loss right there if he has to get another engagement going. But good job on Hans as well. You can see here the capture of the territory is cutting off a lot of very important resources like fuel. This other capture point over here, they grabbed the munitions. So very good job, Hans, recognizing the importance of the battlefield layout and going in for the decap in a lot of good areas to cut off a lot of supplies. Right now, Asiamint heavily down in terms of overall resources, but the same can be said for Hans, who's only getting 7 fuel right now per turn. Luckily, he'll get some additional resources in, but he needs to grab some very important territory to allow the chain of supply to go to his base. Volk squad's going back to the fuel, trying to hope decap the point and keep the engagement going against this infantry section. Stern Pioneers coming on in, closing the gap in the infantry section, and again using the very helpful breakthrough tactics to move on in and hopefully push the enemy back. Very good job there. Anyway, they pushed on in, infantry section going on in, and unfortunately not getting that, using the ability to its full extent on the point, but that's fine. Hopefully they can just get around this MG set on up. We have an armored car being deployed. For those who don't know, the Brits love deploying the armored car for that early lead and light armor to really take advantage. Unfortunately, it looks like Asiamint might be at a slight disadvantage, although half-track, good in its own use against infantry, especially against the Brits, who unfortunately lack an effective means of AT via their frontline forces, unless they're equipped with, let's say, AT specialized infantry section, or maybe you get lucky and you equip them, you pick up a random weapon, which maybe not be the best idea to give them like a Piot or something, but meanwhile, that's why you bring in the armored car. The armored car is meant to deal with stuff like this, and the only thing I could possibly say about this armored car is, well, all the Panzerfaust and also AT grenades that could be in its line straight for the armored car. Anyway, infantry section firing in the north, pushing the Volk squad out, and might be, yep, he's continuing on the pressure. Meanwhile, armored cars going on in. He might see a possible opportunity to dive, but luckily the half-track's already on the other side of the map, so good job there. Infantry section healing on up. Do we have 5-man squads already? Oh, okay, yes, he's getting them right now. I thought he was going for it. So helping Hans getting the 5-man squads. Going to keep on the pressure with some more powerful frontline infantry. Meanwhile, Asiamint's going to have to do something. Unfortunately, I don't think he's upgraded any of his men. Okay, he has 1 squad getting SCG-44s. And unfortunately, no recon package or G43 is being equipped with his Panzerfutzeliers. So I think the infantry section will have an advantage early on, especially with that half-track, unfortunately, having to keep its distance against the armored car. And again, he could go in for a Panzerfaust, but unfortunately that would cost munitions, and that would unfortunately delay any sort of upgrade for him. Nice shot with the armored car, blows up the defensive sandbags in place, so this infantry is going to be pushed back by said armored car. Anyway, half-track lighting up the infantry section, but luckily in cover, so they're just chilling, hanging on out, and still lighting up this Volk squad, but eventually they do get suppressed. AC now putting more pressure on that Volk squad while the infantry section pull back there. Royal Engineers have been deployed as well. Down south, we have infantry section trying to hold on to this point. They are losing models, but they are doing an objective. They are trying to go in for this point, and they're taking less damage being covered. They might be able to grab it in time, and they will, and they'll probably pull back immediately so it doesn't take any additional fire. Stern Pioneers and half-track currently lighting up the Royal Engineers. Panzerfutzeliers as well pushing in from the north, grabbing a large portion of the territory in there. Right now it's dead even with resources, so that's good. Again, keeping themselves even. Also population very, very close, all things considered. Right now we haven't seen additional truck by Asiamint, so don't expect any mechanized or anything from the Panzer headquarters yet. Reinforcer though is live and ready to go, hopefully trying to kill that AEC if possible, but luckily helping Hans is not allowing that to happen, keeping himself back and keeping himself at a distance so that way he doesn't get hit by that unit. Again, I love it, using the brush to his advantage, kind of just repositioning the AEC where he can, so that way it makes it even more difficult for this AT gun to lay down fire on it. Infantry section as well putting shots on the Volk squads and doing a fairly good job. Meanwhile, Northern Territory being taken by Royal Engineers, while Stern Pioneers, again, double checking for mines, not a bad idea. Both these players I've seen in the past use mines very, very decisively. So again, you want to make sure that you don't end up walking into a mine. Oh god. AEC going in, firing some shots in the north against the retreating infantry. Probably won't get additional model, and we can see he makes it out A-okay, so good job on their retreat with the Sturms. Asiamint, realizing the gravity of the situation, decides we need some better support equipment. Let's get a support gun. And to be fair, not a bad idea. That could definitely cause havoc for the Vickers and a lot of the infantry section currently on the front. And again, that would be out of the line of fire for a lot of these forces, as the Brits so far would not have an effective counter means for a long-range artillery unit, at least for right now. Especially if they can be protected by a lot of this infantry and the half-track. So very curious to see how Helping Hans counters that, whether with a mortar pit or maybe with some additional fire support, but we'll see. But right now, Volk squads are doing at least might be able to capture that point right there. Royal Engineers placing down mines and additional barbed wire to pretty much null that cover. Infantry section as well grabbing that territory. Meanwhile, Volk squad's grabbing the south. So I love it. Both sides being like, I'll grab the north, I'll grab the south, and they just keep flip-flopping back and forth, allowing for a very, very, very minuscule amount of bleeding going on in terms of VPs. Panzerfusiliers finally upgraded with their amazing G43 rifles, putting some pressure on the British infantry section, backed up by the half-track, going in for the cover. Additional infantry section coming on in, but they will have to worry. Half-track, though, going in for mid to try to suppress the infantry section, but luckily, we got a 6-pounder, ladies and gentlemen, coming on in. If the OKW can bring up AT, so too can the Brits. Luckily enough, fire has been done on their Canwerfer by the infantry section that forces it back. That might allow for some decent shots in by the AEC, but unfortunately I don't think so. He is down in the south. I think it was just popping shots at the Volk. But I think the coverage by Asiamint is still pretty damn good. I don't think there's a clear means of just diving that force. I don't think Helping Hans wants to. I think he wants to stay pretty defensive in this case and not try to risk any of his units. And I think the same can be said for Asiamint. Half-track again. Trying to fire through the brush or destroy the brush, it looks like. Looks like he's going to reposition. Volk squad's going in for mid. Storm Pioneers grabbing the additional capture point. So far, we haven't seen like any units really be lost. Royal Engineers still in play along with all the infantry sections. Same thing with Asiamint, with his Volk still doing quite well. And, okay, interesting. I love Veterancy Run. Veterancy 1, no kills. Awesome job there. Great work. Oh, God. Anyway, AEC opening fire on the Volk squad. Infantry section as well, putting shots. Again, when under a repair action or a building action, infantry are weaker, hopefully keeping the pressure going. Come on, Canwerfer, take that shot. You missed it by that much, but I like the attempt. I like the drive. Anyway, AEC still being shot by the Canwerfer, but luckily dodging shots left and right. Half-track now moving up to try to put pressure on the Volk. Panzerfusiliers under fire by a lot of infantry section, but luckily we'll manage to pull on back without taking really any casualties, which is good. Again, last thing you want is to lose something you spent so many resources in trying to build up. A 6-pounder, though, lined up and ready to go. Can he hit that half-track once again? No, I don't think he will be able to. Actually, I think the AC hit the half-track, to be honest. Canwerfer opening fire, but missed a little bit. Missed again. I'm going to be honest, Asiamint, I think your Canwerfer is drunk. He's missed like 5 shots. Oh, God. Anyway, half-track, unfortunately, being hit by the 6-pounder. That crew's on point. Fires, but hits the high wall. There we go. Canwerfer finally gets a direct hit on the AC and forces the unit back. Infantry section, though, pushing on up, hoping to keep the Volk squads at bay and continue the pressing forward. And luckily, infantry section are taking the south, allowing for some pressure to be put on Asiamint's VP totalage. Now, let's see. Asiamint, what have you made? A Panzer headquarters to guard the fuel and also a lot of these major points. So the infantry section might be attempting to do a push in the north, but that will be met by a lot of flak fire and a lot of death. Because, again, that Panzer headquarters, nothing to sneeze at. Luckily, infantry section do hold the north as the Vickers try to move on up to counter the OKW forces, but alas, that is simply not going to happen. Volk squad's putting pressure right before he's settling up. Luckily, AC is still there. Not fully healed, though. Unfortunately, though, Asiamint in a situation where he's been upgrading his men so much that he doesn't have the ability to fire any sort of Panzerfaust or AT grenades. Unfortunate, but luckily Helping Hans is keeping the pressure going. Luckily, Panzerfusiliers trying to kill that 6-pounder does get a model, but infantry section going to counteract that push and force them right back behind the brush. Again, great job on Hans. He might not be winning the center battle, but he's winning the flanks, and that's really helping him out because he's getting double munitions right now and double VPs, which is super, super important, especially as the Brits, if you want to slowly but surely. And again, I don't mean upgrade his weapons, as he absolutely could, though I've seen a lot of times for a lot of these competitive games that a lot of players prefer to have that be Brenless rather than equip their infantry section with Brens, let alone Piats. Goddamn. Probably Royal Engineers would be upgraded with a Piat if they want to. Support gun destroying the cover. Half-track opening fire, causing a lot of damage. Volk squad as well. I don't think we'll get a wipe, but we'll definitely see some British losses over here. Nice shot with the Rakan Warfare. Finally hitting the AC, forcing it back. And let's see. Currently, we have a current situation where it's like, okay, who's going to get the armor out first? Well, because company command post has been built for Hans, and Asiamint has built the Panzer headquarters, it's really just coming down to fuel. And right now, if we double check current income and overall resources, helping Hans is probably going to get the armor out first. Also, mortar pit. I completely forgot to bring up, but yeah, mortar pit's been built by Hans, which is going to help put pressure in mid and hopefully allow him to break through and take that point. And again, it's close enough to his base where he can very quickly reinforce if needed. So again, not a bad position whatsoever. I also like the positioning right behind the house, especially as I believe, yeah, the house is destroyed, so it'll be a little bit tougher for units to take it out from that side. Anyway, they're gearing up, trying to take some territory in the north. We have Volk squad in the south, just trying to grab some territory. Asiamint continuing the pressure. Also, Hans is yet to pick a commander, going with a very, very interesting strategy, being like, fine, if I could possibly lose a commander, even in this scenario, I'm not going to pick one. Not bad. And again, he could still be trying to figure out what Asiamint's going. As yes, he's gone Panzer Slayers. Oh wait, no, he went breakthrough tactic. So if Hans caught that, he should be able to recognize what Asiamint has gone in terms of his commander, which hopefully might gear him up to try to go with a counter. Volk squad charging on in, trying to kill the 6-pounder at all costs, but the Volk squad overextended, taking a lot of hits. He should be able to pull on back unless that artillery just whacks him in the face while on the retreat. Does get a good hit. Volk squad's very, very low. Infantry section still diving on in, trying to get that kill. Can he do it? Hans putting some additional shots on target, but alas, not able to get the kill. Still, that probably was not great for Asiamint having infantry so low. Unfortunately, though, Hans did lose the Royal Engineers while I wasn't paying attention, so good job there on Asiamint. I think the first kill of the game, I want to say, with the Royal Engineers killing that. Yeah, I want to say so. Anyway, nice shot with the Cromwell on the Volk squad. Infantry section, though, going to be forced back. Can we get a kill here? Super low. Infantry section does manage to get back to base, but the Cromwell blocking his retreat, saying, no, you get back up there. I guess he took some Soviet influences there. Anyway, half-track, very nice to see up to Vanity 2. Even though he doesn't have a lot of kills, he's doing a very good job at keeping the infantry back. Volk squad in the retreat, but luckily the half-track keeping the infantry suppressed, not allowing them to keep pressure going. Cromwell missing the shot on target. Luckily, Panzer Slayer and Rakan Warfare both on point against this Cromwell. Great shot with the Rakan Warfare forcing it back. Up north, we got Volk squad demolishing the infantry section and forcing them back. Hans, multiple instances where his infantry have been extremely low. Has to be very careful. He does not want to lose this infantry, especially against Asiamint, who not only has, well, equal amount of infantry section to him, but also they're all geared up and ready to go. They all have SCG-44s or, again, some type of upgrade with the recon. So you're in a situation where if either side loses that infantry, the frontline infantry, can be very valuable because they both put so much time in getting them either with a lot of veterancy or a lot of upgrades, respectively. So it could be a huge mounting loss, and then you can see that cascade with capture, points being taken because the enemy has more frontline forces, and etc. VP-wise, again, still kind of lean to helping Hans in terms of right now, but Asiamint does have a little bit more time at his disposal. And he's going in to grab that territory to keep the pressure on Hans, so very good job. Let's see, Asiamint, what are you going right now? Maybe a Panther? That could be a very, very good counter against a Cromwell. I truly don't think we're going to see a Yag Tiger very early on. Although, Who knows? He could definitely get going with a more memey heavy tank, just lighting that sucker up. I don't think so. Probably a Panther in the near future. Luckily, support gun Veterans 2 doing a lot of good work to counteract that mortar pit. Half-track opening fire at the infantry section right there. Cromwell trying to fire at the Panzer Fusiliers in the south. Again, would be a waste of an AT grenade because of the fact that the Cromwell is such a high amount of health, it wouldn't hurt the armor or like the engine or anything like that to a major degree. Infantry section trying to put pressure on the Volk and the AT. Vickers backing them up, and unfortunately behind the cover, they're doing quite fine. Stern Pioneers coming on in for a flanking opportunity. Cromwell backing on up to counter said unit. Luckily, 6-pounders raring to go, fires on the half-track, forces it back. Cromwell as well, focused on vehicles, that's why it's not firing on any of the infantry right there. MG though, lined on up. Where's their AT on the other side of the map? Cromwell might be able to get the kill on the half-track. Again, so far not taking any damage. You can take up, wait, hold on. Can you take a shot? You miss! Oh no, Hans has missed. He's going in to get the kill. He has to get the kill on this half-track. Asiamint trying to make this thing escape. Has already used the smoke. AT grenades and Raketenwerfer shots are firing against the Cromwell. Oh my god, what is Hans doing? Half-track just backing on up, missing the shot entirely, and there goes the Cromwell in an attempt to dive that did not pay off as well as Hans may have expected. Also, Hans literally delivered Asiamint some free fuel. I just want to point that out. Just you know, giving some free fuel to the enemy as the scavenge. Meanwhile, in all that turmoil and chaos, oh wait, half-track in the south now. AT grenade. Are we gonna lose a? Oh my god, are we gonna see an AEC loss too? We will. Double Raketenwerfers are lying in wait, doing direct fire against the AEC with even in the smoke, and gets both shots on target. Mortar pit is as well been destroyed in the span of a minute, helping Hans win from, I would say, definitely holding a slight lead in terms of what he had at his disposal to right now on the back foot. He's also upgraded all of his men with Brens, and he's gone with Royal Engineer Regiment. He's dropped fire down to hold the enemy. He's now throwing everything he can at Asiamint. Asiamint, so far, though, has not taken, I don't believe, any losses to speak of. Yeah, it's all 4 infantry, Storm Pioneers, MG, double Raketenwerfer, support gun. Unless I'm mistaken, he's not taken a single unit loss so far. And unfortunately, Hans has taken quite a bit in the last 2 minutes. Whew. Also, Asiamint, because of that engagement, has gained in some veterancy from killing the mortar pit and again, gained some more resources by pushing up and gaining territory. Luckily, with some upgrades like the flamethrower upgrade for Engineer, he should be able to... Oh, wait! Mine hit! Yes! Good hit! Now, the question is, can he finish off the squad? I don't see anything close by to kill it, so no, he won't be able to finish that, the Volk squad. But it was close. It was super, super close for him. Nice job with the support gun, up to Variancy 3, putting pressure on the support equipment, the 6-pounder and MG specifically. Infantry section opening fire, get in cover with the Bren, so you should be able to do a bit more damage against the Volk. Half-track, though, gearing up and ready to go, trying to put pressure against the infantry section. Oh my god! That's a bit of friendly fire right there! Half-track, what are you doing? That poor Volk squad, he was just trying to fight. Oh, man. Alright, Asiamint deciding to kill his own men. I'm not entirely sure why there, but okay. Again, some of these higher level players, you don't know what they're going to do, and I guess that's a top tier strategy that Kimbo, you have to tell me about later. Anyway, Royal Engineers, though, do bite it in the end from the half-track up to Variancy 3 right now. A definite beast on the battlefield, with infantry section gearing up behind the high wall, but that's going to be something they have to fear. Also, hold on a second. Is Asiamint really going in for a heavy tank? I made the joke earlier that he would, but he's not good at getting himself a Panther. And he has enough fuel and resources that he could be honestly going for it. I thought that would be a meme. I truly thought that would be a meme, but I think Asiamint's bringing the meme factor. Are we about to see a Yag Tiger? Come on, Asiamint. Look, you've gained enough manpower, you gained enough fuel. Wait, is he doing it? He has the ability to, but we'll see. Anyway, infantry section still charging forward. They have all of them up to Variancy 2 and 3 respectively, backed up by double Yep, ladies and gentlemen, if you wanted to see a Jagdtiger in a 1v1, you've come to the right battle. Jagdtiger has been deployed, and it can verse infantry with supporting fire and stuff like that, so it can do quite a bit. The reason I could see this is he could be using it to counteract the 6-pounders and use the supporting fire to cause them massive amounts of damage, allow the half-track and other infantry to push up, maybe also knock out the MG with supporting fire, we'll see. Down the south, Volk squad's being picked off, but not killed. They do manage to get retreat back. But yeah, no, Jagdtiger also getting upgraded, very nice to see. Charging forward onto the battlefield. Han's going to be in a very interesting situation, because, again, how do you defeat a Jagdtiger? Well, luckily he has gone with, well, okay, maybe Anvil's not what I would say a good counter. Although, again, you got airburst shells, so that could do something to it. But I feel like Asiamint is pretty good on his reaction time, so I don't think he'll just sit there and take a bunch of artillery hitting him. So again, very curious to see how Hans would counter this. 6-pounders could do some damage, but the problem with that would be the supporting fire and the range of this thing just lighting up a lot of the AT from a distance. As well, currently Hans... Oh, wait. Yeah. Jagdtiger doing quite a lot of work. Getting actually a good number of shots on the infantry. What the hell? Is he using... He is not using supportive fire, and that Jagdtiger is killing infantry left and right. Holy God. I did not know the Jagdtiger was as good as the King Tiger with wiping infantry. Apologies in that. I guess the recent patch or something, I just didn't know. But it's doing a lot of work against the infantry on the front right now. Stern Pioneers grabbing the north, keeping the VPs under Asiamint's control, forcing the enemy back. Great job on there. Why not, ladies and gentlemen? Why not? Helping Hans, saying, you know what? Let's not get something to counteract the Yag directly. Let's get ourselves an AVRE to counteract. Yes. Oh, boy. Let's do this, boys. AVRE versus Jagdtiger. This is what you're here to see. The competitive, elite, 1v1 Masters of KO2, bringing out the most interesting units of the game. Now, I will say this, Asiamint will have to be on point because one misstep, one wrong move, and this AVRE could absolutely wipe these Volk and other squads of Asiamints off the face of the map. So again, we'll see what he does. Now, good job for Asiamint getting a lot of territory under his control, which again will probably allow for him to build up reserves and other and just allow him to just how do I say this in the best way possible? Just have a good amount just on backup in case a unit's lost or something falls. Again, because again, you pushing so close to the enemy base could lead to something like this, where a nice double shot via the 6-pounders neutralizes the half track. Well, luckily, it's enough resources to get a new one. So, you know, good job there. Or, except for manpower. Let's not talk about manpower. Anyway, Jagdtiger using supportive fire. MG, maybe? Yep, destroying the high wall for the MG. Sport gun opening fire as well. AVRE getting some heals. Did he activate the... Okay, so if he's going to have a Churchill, it's best to get heavy engineers, because that way you can quickly repair armor. But anyway, infantry section grabbing the south. Jagdtiger still firing on him. Missing the shot, though. 6-pounders preparing to counterattack the Jagdtiger. Let's see if they can gear up and take some hits, or hit it. Yeah, they actually penetrate. All right. Pushing the Jagdtiger back. Bringing it down to a third health. Luckily, Jagdtiger does return fire and cause some damage. And again, that's just normal shots. Great shot via the AVRE. Bringing the Volk squad down to a very minuscule amount of health. Unfortunately, infantry section were not in range and could not pick off target. But again, Han's still doing very well with all his infantry. Unfortunately, none of which is helping to guard his AT guns, which is probably very important. Luckily, infantry section's moving on in to counter said units and push back the Volk squad. Come on, baby. AVRE about 20 seconds away from returning fire. Again, luckily with the AVRE, you did get a good fire rate with this thing, and is able, especially the longest on the field. Jagdtiger, oh my god, down to under half health. Now, I know Asiamint's like literally going in for the memes, and fortunately I don't have my sunglasses to put on to say it while that, but the point is, while he's doing that, I actually think that Hans may have may be able to counter. Because the Jagdtiger is going to be such a heavy burden to heal and get back up, the AVRE can just keep putting pressure along the sides. Now, to be fair, Helping Hans needs to keep the pressure going and keep the battlefield under his control, especially the VPs, sooner than later, as Asiamint can just sit back and just keep burning at Helping Hans' VP totalage. But if Helping Hans can get his forces together for a good strike, we could see actually a good counter against the Yag, as it is a slower, more marauding beast, while the AVRE is a little more maneuverable and can do considerable amount of damage in a short period of time. Volk Squad forced back. At the very least, it also can cause massive retreat. So anyway, Volk Squad go nowhere in sight. Where? Oh wait, no, we have artillery coming on in. It's a little bit of a flame barrage, but still, the fire is being laid to hopefully allow for forces to move on in. Unfortunately, the MG just literally walks up into cover. And up north, Volk Squad, a veteran C5, mind you, is usually easily pushing back the infantry section. Unfortunate, but currently what Helping Hans has to deal with. Pencil Slayers charging on in, but the infantry section behind cover is going to do quite a bit of damage. Unfortunately, though, with the Sporkin coming on in, I think the infantry section will be forced back. 6-pounders, though, lying and ready to fire against the Jagdtiger, which I think, and I could be mistaken, either wasn't fully repaired or took a little bit of damage from the fire, which I think actually for damage that the rear artillery's, the flame mortar barrage for the Royal Engineer, not rear artillery, will actually cause a little bit of damage to heavy armor. So just a heads up. I did some testing on that a while ago, and yeah, that's probably the flame barrage that will do the most amount of damage to armor, just based on the artillery. Anyway, luckily, 6-pounders are lying and ready to hit that heavy armor, but instead focus on the MG while the Jagdtiger returns fire with support fire. Royal Engineers being pushed back along with the Volk, hopefully opening the northern sector. Oh wait, no, half-track has been deployed to counteract. AVRE taking a lot of damage, being forced back. Cromwell, though, on the field, because everyone knows to defeat a Jagdtiger, you get yourself a Cromwell. That's how you defeat the enemy. Anyway, being backed up by multiple infantry section, hopefully he pushes forward along the northern corridor and allows for at least another VP to be captured and hopefully stops the bleed. And again, I don't see any mines here, which is actually a little astounding because Asiamint has a decent amount of munitions. I know he has minesweepers, but that Royal Engineer squad can't be everywhere at once, hopefully allowing for some territory. 6-pounders as well going in to capture some territory. Half-track, though, backing on up. Again, Asiamint being, again, pretty smart with it, unless it's, being double tapped. Let's see, what is the Cromwell going to do? 6-pounders lighting on up, and they are in range, opening fire on the Yag. Double penetration, supporting fire, though, hitting the 6-pounder. Cromwell firing through it as well, forcing the unit back. AVRE still back at base, undergoing repairs. Hans has rebuilt his army. Let me be very clear on that. He's now going toe-to-toe with Asiamint. Oh, and support. Oh my god, the half-track has been neutralized. Again, no infrared for you. As well, 6-pounders opening fire on the AA half-track. Can they kill it? They do! Double kill for Hans. Could we see a counterattack go on right now? MG being pushed back as well, along with the Rekenwiffer having to reposition himself. Right now, that's throwing Asiamint off. Helping Hans coming in. For those who think Helping Hans was going to go down, just, being like, oh, he's done, he's through. Helping Hans saying no. Even with a meme with the AVRE, I am coming back full force, and I am not going down without a major fight. And AVRE lining up a shot. Can we get a kill? We got ourselves a squad wipe, and now Hans has the advantage on the field with frontline infantry. Great wipe right there. Cromwell coming in as well, putting pressure on the Volk. And again, for those that are like, oh, but the Jagdtiger's still on the field. Yes, you're right. But it's also costing him so much in terms of overall population. Again, almost a quarter of Asiamint's army is going in for that thing. And if that thing is not doing damage, then the remaining bits of Helping Hans' army can just go around and do whatever it wants to. Volk squads, though, putting some pressure on the Royal Engineers. Nice support gun hit, forcing it back. Down south, AVRE now up to Veterancy 1. Very nice job. Can hopefully sweep the south, because we're about to see some bleeding via VPs for Hans. He needs to grab some more territory and stats. Luckily, there isn't too much in terms of defenses in the south, and with the AVRE backing him on up, that could be a major issue. Jagdtiger actually pushing in the south. 6-pounders could move in to hit it from behind. Verkenwerfer's kind of in... oh, another Panzerfuzier squad has been wiped by the AVRE. Jagdtiger opening fire, trying to get the kill. As Asiamint is vehemently upset with that AVRE. And trying to get in for that final shot. Does manage to kill it. Unfortunate, but the damage has been done. A lot of Asiamint's forces has been neutralized from the AVRE, and luckily the 6-pounders are just lighting it up, bringing it down to almost half health. Unfortunately, we do have a Panzer IV on the field, but luckily there is a Cromwell that can go toe-to. But combine that with the Jag, we could see some difficulties, but good job at the very least. Hans has a lot of infantry, a lot of AT gun, especially with some good veterancy. And another unit goes down. Infantry section up north, killing the MG. Great job there. We're slowly seeing Asiamint losing a lot of his men, which is super important. Doesn't matter how good of a heavy tank you might have. If you start losing all your support equipment and infantry, you're just not going to have much to bring up to really fight. And helping Hans, he might have a smaller force, but it's more elite. It has more veterancy, and hopefully... Oh, is he going to grab this MG? Oh my god. Yeah, sure, let's grab the MG-34. Why not? Anyway, 6-pounders opening fire on the Panzer IV, forcing it back, and they get the kill! Asiamint may have wanted to play the meme game, but helping Hans is playing it a lot better, and at least more decisively. Oh god, keeping the pressure going. VP currently no longer being bled out, at least on helping Hans' side. Now Asiamint is slowly bleeding out. Slowly, though, with only one VP point difference. It's not going to be a huge bleed of that it could be. Storm Pioneers trying to go in for mid, but the British infantry section are lying in wait for them, all being Vet 3 with at least mid-teens to mid-20s in terms of kills. Very good job. Volk squads, 8 to 16 kills, not too shabby. Now the question is, what is helping Hans going to bring out to the table? What could he bring out? Well, with the Jagdtiger, actually a good counter to it would be a Firefly. Use rockets or something, you could essentially stun it, and would combine that with the double 6-pounder with some decent veterancy. You could do a lot of damage to this Jagdtiger very quickly if not protected. Luckily, Asiamint is bringing out some protection in means of a Panzer IV. Hopefully he doesn't die so quickly, but we'll see. Vickers machine gun, also veterancy 3, opening fire on the Volk, keeping them at bay, and yeah, this is going to be suppressed before it takes territory. Jagdtiger trying to be like, we'll use support fire, but MG's having none of it. Volk squad as well under fire from the Cromwell. Northern territory is being taken by infantry section. Very good job there. And right now, helping Hans just has way more infantry, just taking a huge portion of the map. So again, good job there. We're going to have to see Asiamint really double down. Luckily, he does have an amazing support gun, veterancy 5 with 16 kills. Anyway, 6-pounders moving on up. I'm assuming he thinks the Panzer IV is going to charge up north. And right now, the Panzer IV is backing on up. I don't know if he knows about the 6-pounders. Oh, wait, no. Actually, 6-pounders not going after the Panzer IV. He's actually going after the Panzer headquarters, which would be a huge loss for Asiamint if he lost that, reducing not only heavy infantry that could come onto the field, such as the Opel Sedan, but also all the armor like the Panzer IV and the Panther that could be deployed. Oh my god, that'd be a huge loss for him, and it will probably be so. The Panzer headquarters is about to die. Jagdtiger moving on in, using high explosive rounds to try to blow that up, but even with supporting fire, it's not enough. We do lose the Panzer headquarters, and a nice job indeed for Hans, coming back. Although, with only 66 points remaining, he has to keep up the pressure, but by God, he's doing a fantastic job with that. And the 6-pounders do make it back without losing any additional models. And again, good infantry coverage with the MGs guarding it and infantry section. You're not going to see a Volk squad dive in and kill it. That's not going to happen. We do have a Volk squad diving into mid, but alas, the Vickers machine gun, and now the MG-34 as well, going to put some fire on along with the infantry section going in close. Panzer IV trying to dive in the south, but that's not going to happen with the AT coverage that Hans has. Supporting fire once again being brought to bear against the MG and the AT gun, but alas, quick reaction time by helping Hans forces it back. And actually, Hans is going in for the northern fuel. That's double fuel for Hans right now. And again, we could see him deploy the mighty AVRE, but I think he might switch over to a Firefly to be fully transparent with the action. I mean, if he loses something, sure, we could see the AVRE. But if I have to be honest, I think the Firefly would be a much better option for Hans. Anyway, supporting fire, trying to hit the MG. Oh, so actually, no, not even. Oh, wait, it is supporting fire. Okay. Panzer IV as well, hitting the infantry section. I love it. Again, people forget this all the time. This weaponry can be destroyed under constant fire. So, again, good job repairing it. Both AT guns now up to Veterancy 3. Excellent job. But now, again, Asiamint has had a little bit of time. He's building his forces back up slowly but surely. So, we're really going to see Hans have to keep killing this infantry in quick succession. If Asiamint is allowed to build up, that could be a huge problem. Also, Jagdtiger up to Veterancy 2. Under fire from a lot of AT, though, and forced back. And again, good job separating your units, not allowing them to be picked off by a single, like, artillery barrage, or in this case, supporting fire action. Oh, shoot! AT gun very low. Needs to pull on back. I'm assuming this is having... Oh, great kill by Asiamint. Gets the Veterancy 3 AT gun decrewed, but not killed. Rail engineers make sure to recruit that option. Although Cannon Whipper was trying to kill it, but alas, not today. Fire now coming down. I'm curious to see, maybe forcing a retreat action, which would run into the fire. And it will. The fire will do some damage, not a ton, but it will cause some health damage, all things considered. In the north, infantry section holding its own against the Volk, but again, incendiary grenade will force it back. And again, all three infantry section have so far survived. Rail engineers as well. We can see here being equipped with Piats. So helping Hans bringing out everything he possibly can to keep Asiamint's force at bay. But Asiamint still has a decent population overall. Unfortunately, just doesn't have a lot of frontline infantry, which is going to be a problem. The good news is, looks like the north is completely unprotected, and he will go in for the decap at that point, along with mid being decaptured. And hopefully recaptured it for Asiamint. We can see a triple cap against Hans. Hans cannot allow this to happen. He's still down almost 5-1 in overall VPs. He needs to keep on either not losing points and or keeping points being lost against Asiamint rather than himself. Anyway, smoke going down. Can we maybe call in some coordinated fire against this? Might be a good idea. Infantry section going in the south, MG being brought up. Panzer IV, though, what do you have the counter? Oh, okay, 6-pounders being brought up. Panzer IV, though, might be able to get another shot or two against the MG. No, actually, Jagdtiger opens fire with support fire. Luckily, 6-pounder is ready, though, to light that sucker up. Does recapture a Bren after I think it got dropped by the other one, so good job there. Yeah, no, you should panic. Wait, Cromwell opening fire, gets a great kill. Another Volk squad dies to the hands of Hans. Now the question is, can he kill the Cannon Warfare with the Cromwell? Nope, he cannot. And unfortunately, Hans, a counter that I've not brought up against Hans is because of such a large infantry force with all the MGs, AT guns, you name it. By the way, he has 3 AT guns now. He doesn't have a lot of manpower. So because of the lack of manpower, he has 300 fuel, but he doesn't have any manpower to really bring up that armor. So that is a major concern for Hans. Anyway, luckily, you still have the 6-pounder opening fire, but alas, bouncing shot after shot. That's, I think, 2 shots that have been bounced repeatedly against the heavy armor. 25 points remaining. Hans needs to grab some territory. Luckily, and again, I'll point out, Asiamint has barely any frontline forces. So if he sets up the MGs correctly, if he sends up his infantry to grab the territory, and again, goes in to grab the south, and again, you can send in this unit, which can drop smoke, he can absolutely take it. Now, luckily, it looks like the Cannon Warfare might kill itself. No, he was just staying in there as long as possible to help the bleed. But Hans doing a really good job at trying to come back into this fight. He's doing everything possible to keep this game alive. But alas, it's going to be really tough. Now, the good news is, again, for Asiamint, for Hans, killing his frontline infantry going to help. Also, you know, sacrificing your Panzer IV to the AT guns, not gonna help as well. And I think we're gonna see it die here. Yep, gets killed by the other AT gun. We have 3 AT guns. A dive is not gonna work. He does kill one of Hans's AT guns, good for him. But alas. Also, I'm assuming you got the Sturm Officer for the retreat option to force the unit back, hopefully allowing him to capture territory. Not exactly as helpful as he probably wants. Also, Asiamint, I mean, he also has a good amount of fuel, but also down on manpower, which is a big issue when you're currently down on a lot of frontline forces to grab territory, and as well for trying to get some additional armor. And, of course, doing that at the same time, it's a bad day for the logistics officer, let me just say that. Luckily, Hans has placed down a ton of mines, and I don't see any minesweepers with these men, so expect a lot of men to die from all those mines. 6-pounder in mid, a Jagdtiger going to be in a world of hurt if it tries to advance forward. Now, we do need an MG to guard this territory. Let's see, we have an MG in the south just guarding against a possible flank. Let's see. Oh, MG kind of here watching on over. For Canwoofer just chilling. Infantry section, though, coming on in. Focusing fire. Wait, can we see a kill? Yeah, we're going to see the Canwoofer Veteran C2 lose it. I love it. It just hitting 2 mines on the way out. Perfect. Although infantry section might be a little better off in cover. Come on, Hans. I'm rooting for you because you're the underdog right now. If Asiamint gets under 13 points, I'll start rooting for him. I'm kidding. No, I'm rooting for both players. Again, this Jagdtiger, by God, 18 kills. Hopefully, it can keep putting pressure on this MG and a lot of the other support equipment. Canwoofer again brought up. MG is... What, you get another MG? Okay, Asiamint deploying another MG. I think that might be the wrong call. I think he needs to just get something to grab territory. Rail Engineers trying to grab that AT gun. With Sturm Pioneers, though, stopping them in its tracks. Luckily, British infantry section are opening fire. Wait, can we get a kill here with the MG? I was going to say, with the MG over here and everything else, no. And along with the mine, not today. He dodged the mine. MG's dead from the Jagdtiger. Nope. Not going to happen. Luckily, the British should be able to recruit that, and they do. But again, that's a lot of manpower Hans is going to have to use to replenish all this infantry. My God. Again, by the way, I know these guys are, and people in chat are saying like, "Oh my God, they're not playing like 100% on point." But again, sure, they may not be playing like 100% as much as they want to, but it is quite a chunk of change that if a side, let's say, memes and unfortunately does throw in the towel, that's quite a bit to be like, man, I went in for the memes and unfortunately I ended up a little bit short today. And again, good job on Hans. You have to give it up. Even though, again, you could say he also went a little memey with AVRE. He used it quite effectively, has been able to use his infantry and support weaponry really well, and has turned the tide of this match quite well, to the point where, yes, Asiamint, all he has to do is hold the VPs for a short period of time, but still, good job, all things considered. AVRE is not a meme. Well, I would say maybe that with the Jagdtiger, but anyway, a British infantry section called in some coordinate fire. Good job there. Oh my God. Okay. Asiamint couldn't kill helping Hans' men, so... Oh my God. Hans' artillery forces will do it for him. God, we've seen so much friendly fire this game. It's ridiculous. But luckily, for Asiamint, the friendly fire brought on by that actually may allow him to capture the territory and win the game. Oh my God, that's quite funny. But yeah, right now 500 fuel, by God. With that, I think that's going to be GG, as there's an MG in the south, and unless he can send something to drop smoke, probably not going to happen. Again, no grenade options for Hans, so they can just hide in the smoke. And now the north's being taken. AT gun going to delay them for as long as possible, but I think that might be it. Wait a second, no! Oh, smoke being dropped, barely alive. Canwoofer's going to hide on that point. And with the power of smoke, I think Asiamint will clutch this game, which went on far longer than probably most people expected. But dear Lord, good job on Hans for keeping the pressure going and really making this an entertaining game. Oh my God. But yes, that's going to be it. That's going to be game. Great work on both sides. Have to give it up. Asiamint did a fantastic job early on in keeping the pressure on Hans. And I think Hans unfortunately did a dive that unfortunately cost him quite a bit. And the Asiamint just pounced on that, grabbing a ton of territory and resources. And that kept the pressure going. Now, Hans kept his cool, waited, and allowed Asiamint to make small mistakes here and there with his infantry, slowly whittling down his frontline forces and also taking out his men, support equipment, and even requisitioning them when he could, like in this situation. But yeah, but Asiamint kept himself together for the most part, though he still kept taking losses, and managed to grab the VP in the end, although it was very, very close. I have a sneaky suspicion if he didn't do it there, I think Hans might have been a higher likelihood of winning that. But still, good game for Asiamint. Great job. Let's double check the after action report, shall we? Helping Hans, getting more damage. That makes sense. Again, you're going to see him take out a lot more Panzer IVs, as well as the Jagdtiger, just constantly taking damage. Helping Hans did lose a bit more men compared to Asiamint, but both of them very close, all things considered. Let's double check their MVP units. Gotta give it up to these 6-pounders. And I know a lot of people point out the fact 6-pounders, and again, it's like, if you see them top damage, I've heard so much, like, criticism. It's like, oh, the player didn't do well with 6-pounders. But these things did so well. They knocked out so many Panzer IVs, so many half-tracks, so many... The Jagdtiger was diminished in health so many times, even with all the balancing. So fantastic work on helping Hans at keeping the 6-pounders in the right area at the right time to put the pressure going. As well, good job for the most part of keeping the infantry section alive. Gotta hand it to Hans for that. So yes, he did lose some engineers and some MGs here and there, but overall, he did a really good job of keeping them vetted up, on pressure going on the enemy, and good job there. Also, good job with some of those AVRE hits. But yeah, good job, all things considered. Now, I will say his armor maybe didn't last as long as he wanted to, but again, he's versing a tank designed to just crack allied armor left and right. But on the flip side, we did see a lot more losses, at least with frontline infantry for Asiamint, but Asiamint did a very good job keeping his support equipment for the most part alive. And half-tracks, again, gotta give it up to them. Even though they're not on the MVP, and also total damage for a single unit wasn't as high, he did a seriously good job, though, with all of his units. Specifically, the half-track did very well. Gotta give it up to that. Jagdtiger, again, did pretty well for at least trying to knock out the MGs and stuff like that, and also killing the AVRE earlier on. And the guy gave it to the support gun for just constantly harassing, killing. Again, we saw it take out, I believe, the rail engineers. You saw it also take out the MGs, the mortar pit, all this stuff. So good job at least keeping the pressure going, keeping that thing square in your pocket to keep it alive. But anyway, that's game 1, guys. We still got up to 2 more games left. Hopefully, you guys enjoy the remaining 2 games, or 1 game, depending on how Asiamint plays. But I have a feeling Helping Hans might be coming back a swinging. We'll see. Hello, everyone. This is Greyshot17 bringing you another game for the 3rd place round of the Master League Tournament 2, the Commander Terminator. For those who are just tuning on in, Helping Hans and Asiamint duked it out in the last round to such an amazing degree. What possibly was a quote-unquote meme match with a Jagdtiger being deployed ended up being a brutal fight that unfortunately Helping Hans did lose in the end. Asiamint clutching a win, bringing his total up to a 1-0. Excellent job for Asiamint. Now he's coming back instead of the OKW, this time as the Soviets. Well, Hans is going to bring it out as the OKW. Unfortunately, no Jagdtiger, so those Jagdtiger fans will not see that. But hopefully we do see some more excellent action on the map. Oh god, Barracks Assault. I'm terrible with names. Apologies for that. But again, hopefully to Asiamint and Helping Hans, another great game series we can expect. Helping Hans already going slightly different than how it was. I mean, to be fair, Asiamint's going Soviet, which is very different than the Brits in terms of playstyle. But producing a lot of conscripts, so hopefully capture a lot of territory along backing it with engineers. But anyway, how's Hans different? We have the mighty Kubelwagen being deployed. For those who don't know, this mighty beast is literally the MVP of KO, the most powerful unit in the game that can bring whole armies to its knees. Incredibly strong, potent, and can eventually, at Veterancy 5, I know, hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, suppress infantry. I know. It would be astounding if this thing could suppress infantry early on, but it was deemed too powerful by the Code 2 gods themselves and was nerfed. You know, it had to be. It had to be. But anyway, will this mighty beast turn the tide and allow Hans an easy victory? We shall see. Anyway, we can see the initial engagement early on with 2 conscripts focusing on the Volk squad in the north. This 3-to-1 advantage via conscripts could be detrimental to these Volk squads unless the Kubelwagen moves on in. But again, not wanting to show the power of the Kubel early on, decides to wait for support and then engage, which we can currently see here. Conscripts, though, body blocking the Volk squads, trying to get additional model or two on the retreat, and looks like that's exactly what we'll see right now. Currently, gets a couple models out. Volk squad's trying to fight in cover, but the conscripts also learning to like, hey, well, we can fight in cover too. Move on in and get into that nice cover to keep firing for as long as they possibly can. Kubel trying to do what it can, but alas, it's a young Kubel. It's inexperienced, unfortunately. Not a lot of veterancy with this thing, so unfortunately, it's gonna have to back on up and undergo repairs. Stern Pioneers, though, coming from the flank, does a great job at forcing some of the conscripts back and helping Hans coming back swinging. Volk squads as well coming in, hit the engineer. Kubel as well with Volk support and Sturm gonna hit him. The question is, can Sturm do some more damage on the engineers on retreat? Looks like he's not gonna focus on that. He's gonna keep focusing on the conscripts. They will retreat, however, but engineer's gonna place some mines in mid in the meantime, laying a trap for Hans. Hopefully he doesn't capture any territory with 2 men, because that could be instant KO if that was the case. But let's see. Hans recapturing the north. In the south, the engineer's going to fight some Volk squads and probably will be pushed back. So, not a bad opening round for Hans. Quickly pushing back all the Soviet forces. Luckily, the Soviets do have some nurses back at base. Medical facility upgrade has been achieved. So, all these conscripts will hopefully be back up to full health and allow them to counter with maximum potential. Not going back, with an injury or something like that. No. We're going to make sure our conscripts are A-okay before they go back into the battle against these Volk, especially against the Kubel. Definitely want to make sure you're at full health against the Kubel. Anyway, cover being placed. Northern territory is being taken by the Volk as well. But again, right now it's going to be a question is, can Hans hold against the conscript counterattack that is surely about to happen? And actually, engineers getting a nice flamethrower upgrade as well. So we could see some burning action and hopefully bring down the health of the Volk squads. Actually, interesting enough, elite armored gonna come into play. Hans really liking, oh my god, AVRE and Sturm Tiger. My god, that could be a hell of a combo back to back. But Hans bringing it out as well, possibly bringing it out. But at the very early on, we can see a 221 be deployed, which is, hey, a nice little vehicle with MG that can provide support against conscripts. And again, without a long form AT, it could just keep causing havoc for a lot of these forces along the front. Conscripts moving in to capture the territory as engineer as well, but Kubel gonna delay them for as long as possible, charging on in. Up to veterancy 1, very nice job. Conscripts going in though for to capture the south. Right now losing a lot of VPs. Asiamint is gonna need to grab something in the meantime. Luckily conscripts going in to capture that point. Engineers on standby as well. The question is, what is Hans gonna do? Luckily he deploys some med kits down to heal up his men. Stern Pioneers going in to heal the Kubel, bring that power back up to bear against Asiamint. And we have a medical facility for long-term healing going down. Anyway, 221 opening fire. Is he going to try to push them out of cover? Maybe not. Unfortunately, it might be an issue there. But he is just going to straight up get point blank and open fire on them, forcing them back. Not too bad of an option. He's also going to give chase and try to chase them down. Opening fire now on the conscripts, again buying cover. Love how he's using them to counteract. Now the question, AT grenade has been achieved by Asiamint. Does get a good hit on them, forcing the 221 back. Alas, I don't think he really cares. He did the work, he forced back the conscripts, and at least in the south, helping Hans gonna grab a ton of territory. Now, if we're gonna keep going with this sort of like off-ball commander pick, Asiamint, I'm just saying, if you really want my attention, just pointing out. But again, both other options are very good on the table. Again, equipping your conscripts with PTRS rifles to help counteract armor, or giving having guard troops deployed with some nice IL-2 bombing strikes. Both very, very potent abilities. But I mean, B4, come on, guys. Anyway, conscripts, engineers trying to grab the northern territory, but helping Hans does grab everything, keeping the VP point bleed on Asiamint. Double Volk in the south. Kubel could move in as well if he wants to. Again, helping Hans have to move to cover. Luckily, he moves behind the log. We do have some... Oh, what the hell? Alright, I don't know why it just waited until that time, but finally, that trip mine finally goes off, killing a model. Again, conscripts can lay that down if they so want to at veterancy 1. Again, nice to see, but it was like, okay, that was a hell of a delay. Maybe it was just his foot was on the mine and it just didn't go off until he released the pressure. But We do have some light armor up in the north, hopefully to push these guys back. Luckily, Asiamint, realizing the gravity of the situation in terms of the light armor currently being pushed against him, is bringing out an AT gun, hopefully counteract the Kubel, the 221, which, well, been upgraded to a 223 now, and as well the half-track, which is now being deployed by Hans. So Hans really bringing up the light armor. So God, if you really like light armor for the OKW, hopefully you guys enjoying all this action currently on display. Asiamint could get in close for a Uda, but again, he's going to need to keep some type of action going against Hans for him to be distracted so he doesn't immediately retreat the unit. Otherwise, Hans is just going to keep the unit at a distance, just lighting him up. Down south, what do we have? Volk squad's going on in from the flank. Additional Volk squad behind some heavy cover via the rock. Doing some stuff. Alright, let's see. Nice incendiary pushes them back out of cover. And conscripts doing what they can in the shrubs to keep the fight against Hans. Luckily, Hans is not in Hazor cover, so conscripts actually doing pretty damn well, all things considered. Unfortunately, they are taking some hits. Might want to pull on back. Additional Volk squad might be going off to hit them in the retreat. Luckily, he pulls back before that can happen. Engineer squad going in for mid. 2-2-3 trying to cut him off. And again, AT gun opening fire. Can we get additional shot on target firing through the brush? Nope, we are not going to be able to. Stern Pioneer is going to close the gap. Luckily, he does also reveal the mines as well. So not too bad in that regard. And again, not too shabby. Conscripts as well, trying to keep, luckily push back the Sturms. Volk squad, they're going to grab the south. And with mid, again, that's going to keep putting pressure on Asiamint. So, nice job. Anyway. Kubel opening, trying to move up against the conscripts. AT gun opening fire, almost saying the cover they were building. Good job there. I don't know why he retreated that. There's no other infantry in the region. So, but he did retreat the conscripts. Maybe he realized, oh shoot, I forgot to heal them. No idea. Luckily, with the half track, forces back some additional forces. Excellent job there. Excellent job. But yeah, Volk squads grabbing the south. Again, double fuel possibly for helping Hans, which would absolutely help. Unfortunately, no additional facilities being developed. No half-track for Panzer headquarters or mechanized. Asiamint, on the other hand, as well, has not upgraded to tier 3 or 4 building. But he has gotten another AT gun, so now we have 2 AT guns on the field of battle. Volk squad being pushed back by conscripts. Half-track opening fire, causing suppression. Hopefully trying to keep them at bay. But alas, has to worry about these AT guns moving on in. But luckily, helping Hans does pull back. Oh, wait, not majorly, actually. Okay, there we go. Now he's in some action to pull on. It's a little bit of a delay right there, but finally does move on back. Doesn't want to lose the half-track in a 1-2 punch like Asiamint lost before. Again, just small engagements all around. Nothing too decisive yet. Nothing too definitive. Anyway, conscripts grabbing mid. Trying to grab AVP. I'm assuming Asiamint was also trying to grab this. Luckily, Asiamint... Oh my god, he actually does go counterattack. Okay. That works. I'm for it. And again, for those who don't know, like, oh my god, 200 fuel. Why isn't he upgrading Asiamint? Or why isn't Hans building the building? Well, it's simply because, again, it was a little bit of a delay. He wanted to make sure he has AT. And again, there's a risk reward of waiting to get armor or focusing down armor. I think Asiamint picked the right move. You want to make sure you have AT guns to make sure you counteract a lot of the light vehicles Hans is producing, as well as, again, you have to then, if you build all that stuff, you then have to regain your manpower and make sure you have enough in reserves to get the conscripts out in a good pace. If you put all the resources into base building, then what happens if your conscripts lose a bunch of men? You have no reserves to bring them on out. So, again, risk reward, but I think Asiamint's in the right move here. Artillery as well, opening fire on the advancing Volk squads. There's a lot of infantry right now that they have to contend with. Luckily, he has a lot of munitions stored up, but Hans just charging on in. Conscripts breaking left and right. Now the AT guns are in harm's way. Luckily, additional reserves coming since, well, they're right next to Asiamint's base. Coming right on out. But Hans, I will 100% say this, is keeping the pressure going pretty damn well. And forcing them back. Also going in for the cutoff right here, reducing Asiamint's resource gain to a very small amount. Again, good job there. Grabbing additional territory in the meantime. AT guns quickly coming back up as they just need a quick model, and then they're good to go. Volk squad on standby. Artillery firing. Unfortunately, the truck takes the brunt of the artillery action. In the north, the Kubel's backing on up. Again, Verency 2. Slowly but surely gaining more and more power in the game. Hopefully it's a decisive vehicle in this game that helps turn the tide. Asiamint finally getting some armor out, but I think a T70 is an interesting choice. We've seen a T70 absolutely demolished in this tournament, even in later stages of this game. And with only one Recandmorpher, as long as he keeps his distance, I think it could work. Again, we're just going to see Asiamint really focus on the micro in terms of his armor. But compared to the last game, I think Asiamint definitely had better in terms of micro for the most part, except for some weird dives. I think moving his half-tracks around and stuff like that was actually really spot on. So if he can continue that action with his light armor, I think he could do some really excellent work, or he could immediately hit a mine and die, but we'll see. Conscripts holding back the Volk. Immediately they're going on in. Recandmorpher though on standby, but just out of range against the armor itself. They're lighting that sucker up, and Volk Squad gonna just hold on for dear life. And again, he's doing that for a specific reason, to bring up the Recandmorpher. 223 unfortunately destroyed by the AT gun. Excellent shot. Oh wait, no, not the AT gun. I think it was the AT grenade. Whatever the case may be, it was destroyed, pushed back, and good job on Asiamint for destroying that one piece of armor that also is bringing in additional resources in for Hans. Anyway, unfortunately getting a little too close for comfort. I think a Panzerfaust is going to be in this thing's near future. Luckily, it's close enough into Asiamint's territory that I think he'll be okay. Recandmorpher could charge in to fire some additional shots. But hell, I think the support infantry for these AT guns will actually try to help keep this thing at bay. And then, of course, you have everything else, all the conscripts and everything that'll just push on in. Recon going overhead. At least showing, like, okay, what does helping Hans as disposal? Unfortunately, with the half-track there, it could be shot down very, very quickly if he sets on up and, well, just has the aircraft to prioritize. Support gun ready and armed. And again, good job with getting the support gun. I think that could be a good use to counteracting a lot of these AT guns on the field of battle. Down south, Stern Pioneers just trying to grab the territory, but I think the conscripts might be able to cut them off. T70 as well, focusing on them. Can we get a kill on these Sturms? T70 going to try to make it happen, as well the conscripts, but with just very little health, Stern Pioneers do make it out in one piece. Recandmorpher though, opening fire, does miss target. Gonna have to reposition itself, otherwise T70 taking advantage of the reposition, opening fire, forcing the retreat, and allowing Asiamint a small opportunity to take the entire south. And again, no real opposition in his way, so good job via Asiamint. Now, middles as well can be taken by an AT gun, but again, that's gonna be short-lived as the Volk squads will come back with full force. What does he have to counter? Well, some conscripts are on standby, raring to go, but they're busy fighting in north or back at base. Oh, I'm sorry, no, I'm sorry, down the south. So right now he's using artillery, actually on this support gun, which is doing a little bit of damage, not as much as he probably would have liked. Volk squad's still going to target the AT gun, force him back. Panzerjag quarters finally being developed by Hans. So Hans will finally be able to get some armor out in the near future. The closest thing he could possibly get is a Panzer IV, but at least that would be something. I think with the double AT guns, though, if I had to guess what Hans is going to go, that would be my guess, ladies and gentlemen. That would be my guess. Anyway, half-track, again, being dived by conscripts. Luckily, focus fire stopping them from throwing an AT grenade, and does manage to escape. Good, again, focus by Hans in that regard. T70, though, backing up, force back the Volk squad. Luckily, Recandmorpher lying in wait, but there's cover there. Oh, wait, no, fires through the cover. Because, of course, AT guns, though, charging on in. Maybe artillery? No, he doesn't have munitions. Well, okay, he has munitions for one, but I don't think he'll use it. Volk squads and Stern pushing against conscripts in the south. Again, one good thing is, again, a lot of losses. One low positive, I'll say, for Hans and Asiamint, respectively, is they haven't taken a huge chunk. What also Asiamint might be trying to go there is focused on this. If he saw that being developed, then he might try to take it out like helping Hans did before, especially with the AT guns focusing in the north. But I think he realizes that with the lack of infantry support and stuff in that region, he's like, no, I don't want to commit to trying to focus on a unit and then possibly lose both AT guns or my T70 or something along those lines and just be taken out. Anyway, T70 opening on the Volk squad, which is now focusing on the conscript, though in a good position. No Molotov cocktails, though, and with the half-track right there, yeah, middle's going to be taken. Got to give credits to helping Hans, though. He has held Asiamint's throat this entire time and has done a wonderful job at keeping the pressure going. Anyway, Recandmorpher preparing to line up a shot on the T70. Can he do so? No, I think the T-70 is going to get out just fine. And yeah, he'll destroy the cover though, so at least that's one good thing. As well, just as you think, oh, Helping Hans is going to start losing points. No. Not really. Not for that long anyway. Oh, grab the south quite quickly. Half track moving on in, but again, T-70 has been a great choice. Helping Hans has had a rough time to counteract Asiamint's light vehicle, and yeah, it's caused a lot of havoc for that. Backed up by multiple AT guns, and yeah, you can see a recipe for disaster. Helping Hans, though, not going with the almighty Sturm Tiger, but instead getting a Panzer IV. And to be fair, that's not a bad option. It's actually very good against fighting off AT guns. And for those wondering why, if he could flank around and, well, get around those AT guns and get in range, he could activate the Panzer Authority on the Panzer Commander ability, and boom bada bing, you got yourself some artillery coming down that can neutralize a lot of these AT guns. So not a bad option, all things considered. Asiamint, though, oh boy. We'll see if Asiamint believes in the B4 and he's able to get some good hits in. It's close to the front, and again, like the mortar pit before, this is not a bad location with the building kind of blocking sight for a lot of different units in direct line for, let's say, armor or even AT or other things. That could help the B4 really to its maximum potential, at least keeping it alive long enough to get some veterancy. But we'll see what ends up happening. Volk Squad being pushed back for Camouflage on standby to hopefully counteract a lot of these guys in terms of the armor kind of coming on in. Hopefully the infantry can back up the support, kind of push forward. AT guns, though, opening fire against the Panzer IV through the brush. Gotta give it up to Asiamint with his quick reaction time and firing through. Volk Squad taking the north, as well as conscripts trying to hold on with the south. Kubel moving on in. Can we see some action? Again, good job at least keeping that thing alive. And you can see here he's using this to actually detect units rather than frontline combat. Not a bad idea. Looks like conscripts got out of that fight. T-70 trying to kill the Volk Squad. Super low, but it will get out. Panzer IV moving back on in, trying to hit those conscripts. Which, by the way, with this doctrine, you can't have some, PPSH upgrade or PTRS rifle, anything like that. But what you can do... Oh, I'm missing the target on there. But it's okay. Unfortunately, that did reveal the B4 is in play. Which hopefully revealed the Hans, like, okay, now I know what Asiamint went. Alas, I wish there was more commanders with the B4. Well, alas, there isn't. Anyway, Volk Squad being hit by the T-70, once again trying to reduce it. Luckily, Recover for coming on and getting a great shot on the T-70, though very close to Veterancy 3. AT guns lying in wait, though, for the Panzer IV. But artillery is about to be called on in. Can they neutralize it? Can it be taken out? Wait, Panzer IV trying to body block it? Or are the AT guns body blocking the Panzer IV? I'm unsure about this, but AT guns are going to line up shots on the Panzer IV. Unfortunately, they either miss or are not able to fire based on the terrain, which is unfortunate. B4 does miss the shot. So far, Asiamint, so far not a believer. He's going to need to believe to hit and connect shots. Volk Squad's putting shots on the AT guns, focusing them as the bigger threat at this moment. Conscripts falling on back for Camouflage moving on in with additional Volk and Panzer IV on standby. Again, probably want to still keep that back just in case the AT guns come back in. KV-1 coming on in. So if you guys want some thick armor, you're about to get it. KV-1 can definitely bounce shots left and right, though its main gun is not as, let's say, desirable as some other Soviet vehicles. Again, it's fine, but again, especially versing a Panzer IV, it might have a hard time. Kubel, no! Oh, the flagship of Hans's army has been killed. The cheerleader of sorts has been neutralized. I've been talking a lot of stuff about that Kubel, but it is going to be heartbreaking to see it just absolutely taken out. Unfortunate. Asiamint using recon, I'm assuming gearing up for a shot with its B4. Again, hopefully Asiamint can connect. Half track can immediately shoot it down, though. T-70 just guarding mid. And again, pressure still being kept. Well, there goes that. Okay, B4 getting an excellent shot with that hit. Good job. Looks like we do have a believer in our sights. KV-1 deciding, who cares about roads? Let me go through the terrain. Charging on forward against Hans. Unfortunately, Hans gets some retribution using heat rounds to just absolutely annihilate the T-70. KV-1 trying to finish off the Panzer IV. Can he get out of there in the nick of time? He does connect another heat round shot with the KV-1. Recadimorpher as well, opening on, causing some damage. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be able to do much more with all the infantry retreating. But now Hans is in a bit of a dire strait. He's lost a bit of his forces based on Asiamint's counterattack. Map control is now leaning ever so more in Asiamint's favor, especially with more of a population on the field and actually some better armor. But it looks like Hans is deciding, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, I know how to beat that heavy tank with lots of medium tanks. So yeah, we're going to see another Panzer IV to be deployed, hopefully to counteract Asiamint's KV-1. And honestly, with heat rounds, he has the penetration capabilities to neutralize that armor. Really, the question is, will he be neutralized by the B4? That's kind of my main sticking point is, if he charges forward and the B4 connects, will it neutralize those pieces of armor? Recon once again going overhead. Long range arty shot going into play. Where's it going to hit? Well, it does a little bit, not too much, but hey, he at least got another model of some type. Recon going down. Engineers going to quickly try to get the KV-1 back up to operational status. Volk squad behind cover trying to grab some additional territory while he can. AT gun trying to remove that from play with conscripts opening fire as well. We do have some Soviet mines. I kind of forgot to mention that, but we have seen some active mines on the field. Not too many, but still at least enough to be warranted of mention. But again, minesweepers are currently in play, so hopefully kind of brings into conscripts opening fire, trying to light this sucker up, hopefully doing something. Come on, Panzer IV. Great shot, 3 models down. KV-1 moving on in with some backup for the engineers, minesweeping, and some conscripts. AT guns backing on up because, again, Stern Pioneers and Volk going at it with no infantry cover whatsoever. Asiamint. Oh, wait, hold on. B4 repositioning itself, hopefully. But a big push by helping Hans could spell a lot of disaster for Asiamint if things don't rectify themselves quickly. B4 lined up and ready to go against all the infantry and the Panzer IV, which is in a perfect line of... Oh my god. In a perfect vantage point. Oh wait, well, never mind. Building says sorry, not gonna take it. One counterpoint. Things can't shoot the B4, but it also means the B4 can't shoot them, so unfortunate. Luckily enough, AT guns and other things opening fire against the Panzer IV reduces health quite significantly. Can conscripts finish it off with AT grenade? It doesn't look like it, especially if he uses blitz to get away. But alas, conscripts and other force opening fire against the Sturm, trying to force them back. Panzer IV is trying to do what they can to reduce the infantry, and luckily engineers getting the B4 back up to operational status and healing them, so good idea there. T-34 coming on the field. Again, we could see a good ram or good just a flanking opportunity, or you could just charge headlong into an AT gun in a Panzer IV and then quickly get pushed back. Great idea. Okay, 18 kills with one of the Panzer IVs, the other one currently only 3. But gotta give it up to these conscripts. Again, gotta give it to Asiamint for trying to keep his men alive. Helping Hans has also done a good job. If it wasn't for acts of God, aka the B4, just coming in and wrecking his infantry. B4 could fire again, hopefully connects against some of that armor. KV-1 hitting the support gun, trying to neutralize it. Panzer IV trying to come in, using heat rounds. Alas gets one model with the B4, but no kills. Conscripts coming on in. Volk squad trying to do what they can to kind of counteract these guys. Oh, nice shot against the Recadimorpher, decrewing it. And, well, with both AT guns currently back, this is a perfect opportunity for the KV-1 and everything else to just charge forward and kill a lot of the Volks. Unfortunately, they're still being hit by the Panzer IVs at a distance. Come on, AT guns. Can you use artillery or something to not neutralize these Veteran C5 Volk squads? My god. One Volk squad very low on health, trying to retreat. B4 should be able to fire in just a few seconds here. They're trying to act in the north, and they might be able to flank and neutralize this AT gun. Conscripts, though, trying to do some type of screening for it, and do have to pull on back. Another AT gun lying behind the brush, trying to line up shots. T-34 doing something, but gets Panzerfaust with the engine crit after being hit by the Panzer IV. We could see a dead vehicle right here if Asiamint can't save it. Great job by the KV-1, reduces the Volk squads down quite a bit. And excellent work against the T-34. Great kill right there. Excellent work. And another unit goes down for the count. Oh my god. Again, helping Hans kept advantage for quite a long period of time. But alas, Asiamint has slowly, even though, let me be very clear, Asiamint has made plenty of mistakes, like losing that T-34. But at the very least, he has done considerable amount of losses. But the nice thing is, where it counts, Hans is actually keeping a good chunk of his infantry and also keeping his Panzer IVs alive. The problem comes with the fact of repairs. He could use a lot of munitions to repair them, to be 100% and to be honest. But we'll see. We're counting for trying to remove the cover, trying to remove them at bay. Anyway, after that small inconvenience, conscripts moving on in to help guard mid. Currently, Hans is on the back foot with a lot of his support weaponry going down. Armors definitely need some needed repairs. He could do some emergency repairs, but so far has been pretty much not likely to do that. And again, sorry for everyone for the delay once again. But in any case, moving on from that. Currently, we are in a situation where Panzer IVs are continuing to put pressure, KV-1 as well, and AT guns as well opening fire. Meanwhile, KV-1 going on in to try to counteract that Panzer IV. Fortunately, not able to. Conscripts, though, do push back the Volk squad. Stern Pioneers coming on in to help with the armor. Though, again, he could do repairs, but I guess he just doesn't want to. Anyway, Volk squad coming in the south. This is a mighty bit of a overstretch because there's nothing to protect this Volk squad that KV-1 really wanted to go to town on it. You got some Panzer IVs on the flank, but not too much that can go directly into it. Any case. B4 opening fire. Hang the northern sector, almost hang the support gun, but no dice. Nothing connecting. Conscripts as well moving on in. And AT guns are as well backed up. Very close to the mines. Has to watch out for that in case that support gun returns fire and blows something up. Because you could see some friendly mine action. But I'll give this. Asiamint has come back in a meaningful way. He's gained map control. He has a very good army at his disposal. And he's getting a tank destroyer to help counteract the Panzer IVs. All in all, Asiamint has done a wonderful job at turning the tide of this battle and helping things come back. I'm not going to say the B4 was the main instigator of that. I wish it was. But I would probably have to say is keeping his cool, frontline infantry, AT guns on standby, and just helping Hans wear himself out. Did a great little things like that really help things come by so far. Anyway, but anyway, Camera on standby, KV-1 as well, still over there. And again, little technical issue for those who are asking in chat. Conscripts and everything at bay. AT gun as well, just lined up ready to go for those Panzer IVs, which by the way there's one in the south and one just chilling more in the northern sector. At least he's grabbing that, so hoping Hans isn't bleeding too terribly. B4 does miss target once again, not really connecting or killing anything. If he loses a Vet 5 Volk, that's a huge loss for him, so hopefully that doesn't come to pass. KV-1 opening fire against that, Recon Warfare as well, returning action. Luckily the Minesweepers at least gave helping Hans the awareness of all the Soviet mines along his flank. Oh boy, Panzer IV again, hopefully they do not dive because of the amount of mines. S-285 as well, gonna probably stop any sort of diving because of the fact he can just hit them before they even get close. Even if he were to dive, he gets snared, that S-285 will make him pay. What is this Panzer IV doing? It's just chilling up here? I guess on vacation. No matter what, currently the other Panzer IV heading down the south. While we have some Volk squads trying to hit the flank. Not a bad idea. So far, 23 kills. You got to give it to Hans with having a lot of really powerful, very good infantry across the board. B4 prepped and ready to go. He could try to hit the base again. Unfortunately, Asiamint, I don't think can just keep using resources on the recon. While it is effective at identifying key targets for his forces, unfortunately, it also brings up to bear the issue of the fact that, well, you don't have AT grenades, you don't have artillery for your ZIS, you don't have all these specials that could come into play. Luckily, AT gun really nicely placed, stops the Panzer IV from diving along the left-hand side. S-285 KV-1 quick to react, and actually coming on and stop the Volk squads from capturing this territory. He will grab one, but can he stop him from grabbing the northern VP and continue the bleed against Asiamint? That is the real question. Anyway, right now, great shot by the KV-1 opening fire on said Volk squad. Unfortunately, B4 is fine, ready to go. Can it connect on target? Right now, there's multiple targets in its vicinity. You just need sight. Volk squad doing a great job putting pressure on not only conscript, but AT gun as well. And Panzer IV is also on standby. Oh my god. Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, I guess we will see Hans bring out the Sturm Tiger. Almost stopped, though, by the B4. But alas, didn't take that much damage, and it's continuing to push on forward. Anyway, conscripts holding mid with engineers grabbing the north. That'll keep Asiamint in the clear and continue to put pressure on Hans, who now is a slightly larger army, but we'll see. I think Asiamint has a more effective army right now on the front. Panzer IV and such opening fire, and Volk squad as well, trying to delay the conscripts as much as possible, but I don't think that will happen. KV1 focusing on another. Oh, Sturm Tiger trying to connect. Unfortunately, not getting all that much with its shot. A little bit of health damage, and otherwise AT guns easily pushed it back. Volk squad dying in the south, I believe, to the KV, which is unfortunate. So that means we only have 2 Volk squad left for Hans. This is the exact situation Asiamint found himself in, though Asiamint at least a lot more pressure on Hans at that time. So we'll see how things progress. Again, right now the pressure needs to be brought back on Asiamint. Something needs to be done. Killing this KV would be a huge win for him, but unfortunately his Verkanwerfer is still out of commission. B4 still putting pressure on a lot of his units and keeping them scattered. Luckily, veteran C3, Panzer IV, that's a hell of a thing. Hopefully he can keep pressure along the conscripts and keep them at bay. Yeah, Su-85 and KV-1, though in repairs, luckily double engineers will help quickly with that. Half-tracked under fire. Can Su-85 finish it off? No, Verkanwerfer there to guard it and easily push it back. Su-85 very low. Where are those Sturms? Okay, they're back at base. I was going to say, if they could detect these minesweepers, a flank through... Oh, wait, no, he's prepped and ready for that. Well, actually, not from this way. Maybe. Again, right now, it's just kind of figuring out where those AT guns are and trying to circumvent them. Volk squad trying to counteract the conscripts right now. Again, Asiamint's still doing extremely well. All conscripts are in the teens with kills, so very good job there. Conscript could die here. Verkanwerfer under fire as well. B4 opening fire. Doesn't, unfortunately, another miss for the most part. Gets 1 model. No, actually doesn't get anything. Wait, Sturm Tiger, though, moving on in. Can it deliver a finishing shot? Okay. That works. Does a bit of damage, and I think it hit a mine or something, because I don't think it had to engine crit before, but hey, good shot. At least that happened. Unfortunately, Sturm Tiger did take a number of hits, and unfortunately, its engine is also crippled. We could see some the Su-85 and other forces move on into it. As long as they keep the Verkanwerfer is retreating, which means these Panzer IV is the last thing to keep this Sturm Tiger alive. And Asiamint, realizing the situation at hand, is going to charge his Su-85 to try to knock out those units. And even though the Panzer IVs do have those side plates, again, it doesn't matter how many armored skirts you have, the Su-85 can slowly wear you down. Now, he is moving down in the south. We could maybe see a flank opportunity against the Su-85. Again, combine those with heat rounds, which he has plenty of munitions for. We could see a possible counterattack. B4, and once again, missing the target, except for getting a couple Sturms. Verkanwerfer, though, opening fire against the KV-1. Su-85, though, realizing the Panzer IV along the flank, focuses on it to stop it from coming on in. Verkanwerfer is down. KV-1 up to Veteran C3. Really great job, all things considered. So, great job there. Anyway, armored vehicles lined up and ready to go. Still, at least the Su-85 could fire shots through the brush and try to neutralize, or even kill the Verkanwerfer. It could have some sight. Conscripts might allow that. One of the engineers did perish, though, but luckily Asiamint has plenty of reserves and manpower and fuel. It's looking pretty good. Also, recon overhead. B4 could get a devastating shot here in the next few seconds if it connects. That's the thing. But it is far enough away that unless this person truly believes, I don't think he's going to connect. But we'll see. But again, once again, good job for Asiamint, holding a good chunk of the territory, allowing things to go pretty damn well. And yeah, hopefully all things, hopefully we can see some a counterattack by Hans. Otherwise, this game may be over very soon. Recon immediately shot down, but B4 firing. Alright, and also the armor's under go under some heals. We have Asiamint as well grabbing the territory in the south, allowing more resources to come through. Is he repositioning it? Is that... Okay. I don't see anything that connected, so I think it was, unfortunately not a good shot. But anyway, Volk Squad going in to at least grab the north. Panzer IV, Veteran C3, almost Veteran C4. I'll give Hans this. His Panzer IVs are on point. He just, needs to kill something with it, because the conscripts, the AT guns, the KV-1, the Su-85, the B4, they've all survived so far. But I mean, that's fine. Just wait for a good opportunity to strike. But again, you have to balance that out with also making sure that the unit, well, doesn't get overwhelmed by too many forces. Luckily, does eventually get up to Veteran C4, so that's good. In a good position to hit the KV-1. Rakanwerfer as well opening fire. Conscript's still guarding, so he has to be very careful about how much he engages. Su-85, though, being blocked by smoke. I think it was... Wait. Again, don't know if that was on purpose or not, but that's actually allowing his armor to engage the KV-1 without fear of the Su-85 for at least a bit of time. We have the Panzer IV diving now. Unfortunately, a lot of bouncing is not helping it out. And unfortunately, the KV-1 did pen, which will allow the conscripts to AT grenade it and unfortunately pin it, if unfortunately he was to set dive. Whereas, let's see, dived and there was only one squad there. Even if he chucked an AT grenade, it wouldn't necessarily harm it because of the fact it wouldn't get engine crit. We do have the Panzer IV in the south. I don't see anything along that region, so it could be a good opportunity. B4 opening fire, I think. Yep, there it goes. It's gonna hit the base, isn't it? Yep, medical facility taking some shots. Conscript in the south. Panzer IV gearing on up. We could see artillery. AQ coordinate fire on the B4. It is brought upon it. Can it kill it, though? That's the question. Will all the shots connect? Like these AT guns connecting with the Panzer IV. Luckily, one of them bounced. Yes, good kill via Hans. But unfortunately, Asiamint has almost 1,000 manpower. So, yeah, not too shabby. KV-1 now diving against him with both Panzer IVs. Unfortunately, in a sorry state. We'll have a hard time engaging, but luckily the Sturmtiger might be able to save the day. Half-track is killed, so that is a small win for Asiamint if he gets out. Okay, decent shot, at least, you know, does some damage and shell shocks it, but not enough to finish it off. This Panzer IV needs to do so. Su-85 trying to focus on the Panzer IV. Luckily, Panzer IV stops it. Oh my god, great penetration by the KV-1. Kills the Panzer IV. And Sturmtiger's reloading has 30 seconds. Otherwise, it would have been a great shot right here. But that's probably why he's here. He's like, oh, I don't have to worry. Luckily, did finish it off with the other Panzer IV, so that's good. Up to Baron C4 now, but again, Hans taking a considerable amount of losses, where you could say, yes, Asiamint did take losses, but he has a lot of resources to back up any such losses, and his infantry continues to hold a dominant position on the field. And right now, we're starting to see the tick against Hans, with it now going against it. Great shot at the base, causing more casualties with the B4. So, good shot there. Su-85 putting shots on the Sturmtiger. Sturmtiger, yeah. Luckily, Asiamint realizing the situation at hand, like, I'm just going to spread out my men. I know what you're trying to shoot. Not going to work. And I think that's maybe a subtle difference between the Sturmtiger effectiveness versus infantry versus AVRE in like these competitive plays. The Sturmtiger takes a little bit more to bat up, and I feel like for a lot of these more competitive players like Asiamint or even anyone else, if you have something that's like takes time to fire, a lot of times you can dodge, or you have to be so far back that you don't get the optimal shot to really kill the unit, which is unfortunate. Panzer IV, though, almost geared up and ready to go at full health, but alas, going anyway with 35 kills. Trying to do what he can. Recon going overhead, and that'll continue to put pressure with the B4 firing at Hans's base. Again, all it takes is one good shot. Luckily, AT gun is decrewed. Second one attempted, but he realizing the situation does pull on back. B4 is yet to fire. I guess nothing within his sight lines for him to be like, maybe I'll fire, maybe I won't. Alright. Su-85 now putting pressure on the base. KV-1 as well. Oh my god, great shot. Killing some infantry, and Panzer IV not exactly in a great state. Oh boy. Also, unfortunately, no AT guns, no Rakanwerfer, so hoping Hans is definitely down, versing this armor. We have a second B4 being made, because why not? Why not? Come on, Sturm Tiger, you can do it. Get the kill. There we go. All right. Number of infantry losses via Asiamint, and he can't easily rectify that situation. So, look, I'm not saying it's comeback starts now, but that's a good sign for Hans. That's a good sign in order to help things out. But anyway, double B4s are now primed and ready to go against the enemy. Well, of course. Well, there goes that unit. Yeah, and these are close enough to where they will start doing a lot of damage to the base. And everything's already grouped up in said base. Or at least for that brief moment. Medical facility now under fire. We could definitely see some pressure going on. Armor's moving up north. No AT to speak of. Sturm Tiger still alive, getting some heals. Panzer IV is veteran C5. It has a lot of work to cut out, especially with an AT gun defense. But luckily, because he kind of went with that, it's going to be a lot harder for with just a single AT gun rather than double for him to really pin down that Panzer IV. He does have an S-285 and a KV-1 for sure, but his infantry now maybe can, if he can neutralize L1, maybe some pressure can be done. Sturm Tiger opening fire doesn't do anything, unfortunately. Oh no, run Volk! It's a Vet 5, don't die. Oh my god, great dodge right there. Panzer IV backing up, 25 points remaining. I think this is about to be over. And I think the B4s might finish him off. Well, there goes the medical facilities. No heals for you. Well, actually, I take that back. They're Vet 5. They get heals. Now they're putting pressure on the base. Sturm Tiger trying to heal. Oh. Unfortunate. But hey, you can't say one side's overpowered, as Asiamint has decisively won as both factions. Again, sorry about the inconvenience of the interruption that occurred. Apologies, that was some unfortunate error on my part. But anyway, let's get into the after-action report. Conscripts, 84 kills. Again, very good for keeping on the pressure, all things considered. Unit losses, pretty good efficiency, especially with the Zis, again, doing very good, 12,000 damage. As well, got to give it up to the KV, taking a lot of heat and doing pretty well, all things considered. As well as Hans, he didn't get as much damage and as many kills as Asiamint, but still did a very good opening game and again did some good damage. I did like his veterancy Vet 5 Panzer IV, but anyway, overall Hans did very good, had a good start, but unfortunately didn't follow up, and I feel like he didn't have that nutcracker to deal with the KV-1 and all the infantry and everything like that. He just slowly got whittled down over the course of time. That's what the KV-1's for. It's taking a lot of damage and helping out the rest of your compatriots. But anyway, we need to help out the competitive league. They're currently waiting for me, so we're gonna switch on over. But in any case, again, sorry about the delay, guys. Sorry about everything, but thank you so much for watching. Appreciate everyone who liked, not liked, Jesus Christ. Anyway, liked my stream, who subbed, who followed, etc. Hello everyone, before I go, I want to give a special shout out to my patrons Joey G240, Little Koosh, Milam, Ace, Anton, Bishara, Ion, PyroShark, Jakub Ocwieja. Thank you guys so very much for your amazing support. You guys are incredible. Thank you to everyone who watches. It's been Greyshot17 and his incredible patrons, and I'll see all of you next time.